Good morning, dear students. We are continuing with Module 6, and one of the most important topics in Module 6 is support vector machines, which we call SVM. So let us see what support vector machine is. So before that, let us have an overview of machine learning. So you know that machine learning involves mainly three techniques. Supervised learning, it involves supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. And in supervised learning itself, you know that we have classification as well as regression. So you know that this classification and regression can be done using various machine learning techniques. So one method for doing classification and regression is using artificial neural networks. So another method of performing classification and regression is using support vector machine. Now let us see in support vector machines itself what are linear learning machines. So usually what we do in supervised learning, we provide a training set of examples, that is inputs, with associated labels, that is output. That is, in supervised learning, you will be giving an input-output pair. Supervised learning is used for both classification and regression. So in regression, what happens? Regression is done in order to predict some continuous or real variables like sales, salary, age, product, price, etc. In order to predict the price of that product or something like that, you make use of regression. So what you do in regression is that, suppose we have already seen that we have a set of input data and output data. So from that input and output data, you make an equation in this form. Output variable y is equal to ax plus b, where x is the input variable. So y can be any dimensional vector. X input variable can be also be of any dimensional vector, and a, b are some unknown coefficients. So from the data given, from many training data given, our task is to find the value of a and value of b, so that you can make a straight line equation. It is of the form y is equal to mx plus c, right? So linear regression means that in order to predict the value of a variable, you come up with a straight line equation relating the output and input. That is what is called linear regression. So in linear regression, the output variable or the value of that variable which is to be predicted, that output variable is related to input variable through a linear equation or a straight line equation, like y is equal to ax plus b, which is of the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. For example, if marks, let us say output variable y is marks, it is related to hours of study x. X is how many hours you are studying. A linear equation can be formed if you have many students' data available. So using those data, you can form some metric equations and you can find the value of coefficients a and b using some suitable mathematical ways. Okay. Now, in the previous slide we talked about regression. Now, what is linear classification? Linear learning machines used for classification. So classification, you know that it is a method for categorizing the data into different groups. So what a linear classifier, look here, linear classifier does is that it makes a classification decision based on a linear combination of the input vector. So it makes a linear combination of the input vector and compares it to a threshold. That is how it classifies the data. For example, if you need to categorize gender, let y be gender, output variable. And we need to categorize y as either male or female based on height and weight. These are the input variables. So height and weight data forms the input vector and gender forms the output vector. So what you do is you make a linear combination of the input variables, like for example ax1 plus bx2. So if that is greater than a threshold value, the gender is male, else the gender is female. That is, if it is linear classification, a linear combination of the input variables is compared to a threshold to make the classification decision. That is how linear classification works. There can be other categories like non-linear classifications as well. So, a learning machine is said to be linear if it forms a linear combination of the input variables, whether it is to perform classification or it is to perform regression. I hope now what is linear learning machines is clear to you. Now we'll go to the core of today's lecture. It is support vector machines. So support vector machines, I told you previously that it belongs to supervised learning category. It is a supervised machine learning technique. So it can be used for both classification as well as regression, but it is mainly used in classification problems. Okay, look here. Now what we do in support vector machines is that we plot each of the data item in an n-dimensional space. Then we perform support vector classification by finding the line or hyperplane that differentiates two classes. We are talking about two-class classification, that is classifying data into two classes. So the input data can be of any dimension, say it is n-dimensional data. You need to plot that into some plot and divide the data set into two classes using a hyperplane or a line. So if it is just two-dimensional data, you can separate it by a line. If it is more than two dimensions, you need a hyperplane. It will be more clear to you when it comes to the next slides. For example, we can see how we do support vector machine classification. Suppose that we have a set of data of males and females based on height and weight. We need to classify people as male or female based on height and weight. We have this training samples. For females, we have a set of height and weight data. For male, we have another set of height and weight data. Now, you plotted that into a two-dimensional plane, right? You have actually what? Height and weight, two-dimensional. So you plotted that into two-dimensional plane. And now we need to separate this female from male data. So what we need is, we need a line or some plane. So in this case, since it is two-dimensional data, it can be represented on a 2D plane. You just need a line. But for n-dimensional, if it is of more dimensions, you can't separate the classes using a line. You need a plane surface, plane. I think you have seen that in radial basis function neural networks, hyperplane. So you may need a hyperplane if it is more than two-dimensional data. So you need to separate this by using a line, and separation should be, the line that separates the data should be so good enough that in future, if you are given with a new data, you should be able to classify that person correctly into either male or female. Okay. Now, I told you that you have a set of data, you plotted that into a two-dimensional graph. Okay. Height versus weight. You have plotted the points corresponding to male and female. So output vector is also provided. So for these, they already know that these are females and these are males. The output vector is given for the training data. Okay. Only when the new input comes, you are not sure whether the person is male or female. But for training, you already know this height versus weight corresponds to female. This height versus weight point corresponds to male, because the output also is given, right? Now, you know that by using this line, you can definitely split these two classes. Also, by using this line 2, you can separate into male and female, two classes. So, which line you should actually select? So, there are numerous lines in between the two classes which can actually separate into two. So, which line you should take for classifying the data? That is the main question. So, according to a general rule of thumb, which is the right line or which is the right hyperplane that you need to select? The answer is select the hyperplane which segregates the two classes better. So, what is meant by better? So, the thing is that suppose you have taken this particular line. I am talking about line 1 first. So, this is one possible line that can classify the data, right? So, this line is one particular line which can classify into two classes. What we do is, you calculate the distance of each of the data points, both belonging to male category and female category. You calculate the distance. For example, you calculate the distance of this female towards this line. Similarly, you calculate the distance of this male towards this line, main line. Similarly, you calculate the distance between each of the female data points and the line, as well as male data points and the line. So why do you need this? Because you need to find out the person which is closest to the line. So in this case, it is this female which is closest to this line. Similarly, this male is closest to this line we have chosen. So these persons or these points which are closest to the line chosen are called support vectors of that line. So of the line chosen, the persons or data points of each class closest to the line are called support vectors. So you can get the total distance, you can calculate the total distance by summing up those two distances, and this is called the margin, that is a space, maximum space. Okay, now take the case of line 2. This was our line 2. You calculate the distance of each of the males and each of the females to this line 2. You can see that this female lies almost touches this line chosen, and this male is actually quite distant from the line. So when you take the total sum, it is quite small because this female lies actually on the line itself. So actually we can say that the total distance or the margin is small. So we have to choose the line which gives the maximum margin from the support vectors. So what are support vectors? Support vectors are the data points which lies closest to the separating line. So there are many possible ways in which you can choose a line separating two classes, but the best line would be the one that maximizes the margin between the support vectors. Now an explanation of that is shown again. Look here. The distance between the points which are called support vectors and the line should be as far as possible. That is, the distance of this female support vector from our chosen line and male support vector from the chosen line. That distance should be the maximum. They should be as far as possible. So I told you that support vectors are the data points that lie closest to the decision surface or the line on the hyperplane. So these are actually the decision makers, right? So these are the main problem creators while classification. So if we choose a line which is farthest away from the decision points or support vectors, it would be the best line. That is the main concept behind this. Now, what we do is, for the line separating the two classes, you draw a line separating the two classes. Now, draw a line or plane which is touching the support vector of female and another line touching the support vector of the male. So this distance you call it by d plus and this distance you call it by d minus. So the sum of d plus and d minus is called distance margin. So out of many lines possible, so you choose a number of lines, okay? Line 1, line 2, line 3, many lines. For each line you calculate the, for each line you find the support vectors. You find the distance margin. Similarly, do it for all the lines chosen. So the line that would give the best distance margin would be the best line. That way we have to do. Now, what is the issue if you don't select the line with the proper distance margin? Suppose we are choosing this line 2 as the best line. What would happen? It is having lesser distance margin. It lies closest to women support vector, right? So what happens is that when a new data comes, there are chances that that data may get misclassified. That is a problem. Now, so you know that you for classification you are always given with input-output data. You plot that data onto the, you plot that input vector. Input data actually is plotted here. Height and weight is plotted on the two-dimensional graph. But you should also know that which data point corresponds to male, which data point corresponds to female, because only then we can find out the support vectors corresponding to each class. Because when we are finding the support vectors, we need to know which class it belongs to for training purpose. So in training, each of the data point will be associated with output. That is, for first height and weight combination, you know that the person is a male or a female. So only if you know whether he is male or female during training, you can find out the support vectors of each class. Okay, that is the main role of output data in this. So I hope it is clear to you what is the significance of output data in the problem we discussed. If you don't have the output, if you don't know who is male and who is female, how can you find out the support vectors of each class? You can't find. So only if you have the output data, whether each of the data sets corresponds to male or female, only then you can find out the support vectors corresponding to each line. Okay, that is the importance of output data here. Now, what support vector machine classifier tries to do is that it finds a line or hyperplane with this equation, with this linear equation of the straight line form, that correctly separates the data into two classes with maximum margin. So y, we can say that it is a weight vector, and b, you can call it a bias. So actually our aim is to find out what is the value of y, what is the value of w, and what is the value of b. Now what I want to say is that, look the figure here. So you may find it a quite difficult when you go through the first time, but when you go through this multiple times, I think it will be slightly clear to you. There are only 2 or 3 slides which are tough enough, okay? So don't worry about that. Now, I told you, you have a set of data here, red. You have another set of data here, green. So suppose that H naught is the optimal line or hyperplane separating the two. H naught is one solution of, or one hyperplane that can separate the data. So you call it H naught, and the equation of that line or hyperplane is Wx plus b is equal to 0. You have given the value like that. So straight line equation is of the form mx plus c. So similarly, Wx plus b is equal to 0. You have assigned that way. Now, you know that for this H naught hyperplane, for this particular hyperplane we have chosen, for H naught, you need to find the support vectors. How will you find? You calculate the distance to each of the data points, green data points, you find the nearest one. So here 3 support vectors are there for green class. Here 3 support vectors are there for red class also. So then you find d plus d minus, the total will be the distance margin if this hyperplane is chosen. Okay, you know that, right? So for H naught, we are going to give the equation Wx plus b is equal to 0. For you draw a line through the support vectors of red as well as green parallel to this, that is H1 and H2. So this H1 you call it by the equation Wx plus b is equal to plus 1, and for H2 you call it minus 1. So what is the meaning of this is that during classification you are making all the data points or support vectors belonging to red class as 0 value. 1 value plus 1. The function as 1 value for all the support vectors belonging to red. And for all the support vectors belonging to green, you are going to give the equation minus 1 value. So now, what is the distance? Distance is actually, this is plus 1, this is minus 1. What is the distance between that? So you know that the distance of a point to a line, I think you can refer back to your basic school mathematics. The distance of a point x naught y naught to a line ax plus by plus c is given by a into x naught plus b into y naught plus c modulus by root of a square plus b square. Similarly, the distance between two lines h naught and h1 is given by wx plus b by w. This w means that it is the root of the squares of each of the components in that vector. For example, if the weight vector is of n dimensions, there will be W1, W2, etc. up to Wn. What you do is you do the calculation this way to find norm of vector W. So this way you can calculate the distance between two lines or planes. So this distance between H0 and H1 here is 1 by norm of W, and this is again 1 by mode of W, norm of W. So the total is 2 by norm of W. So here actually you are assigning the value of -1 and +1 to the additional hyperplanes or the decision surfaces. Okay. Now our main aim is to maximize this distance. Maximize 2 by norm of W. It is same as minimizing simply norm of W. Subject to these constraints. What is the meaning of this? It means that for all the data points belonging to red class, for all the support vectors, the function g of x should take the value of 1. And for all the other data points belonging to red class, g of x value should be greater than 1. That is, if for class 1, the data points should have a linear function value of either 1 or greater than 1. Similarly, for green support vectors, you have given value of -1. An output function value of -1. You are assigning it that way. And for all the other points belonging to green class, you are going to make the function value, output function value, greater than, less than -1. It should be beyond the surface. Less than -1. Here it should be greater than +1. So these are the constraints. So meaning of that is that if the data belongs to class 1, the value of Wx plus b should be beyond the hyperplane H1 that touches the support vector of class 1. So for all the data points belonging to class 1, a function, linear function, should take the value of either equal to or greater than 1. That is the meaning of this. So this is the essence of support vector machine. For all the data points belonging to class 1, the data point should take a value, an output function value, linear function value of greater than or equal to 1. And for class 2, it should take the value of less than or equal to -1. And we assume that there are no data points between H1 and H2. So now it is actually an optimization problem which can be solved using various techniques. So the meaning is that this is just one possible hyperplane that can separate the data. For this, you find what is 2 by W. Similarly, if you have another line, you again find 2 by W. Similarly, for all possible lines that can separate the data, you find 2 by W. And the best line would be the one with maximum value of 2 by W or minimum W. Maximizing 2 by W is same as minimum of norm of W, right? So out of all the hyperplanes, the best hyperplane or line would be the one with the best margin. So it is actually like a minimizing problem, minimizing norm of W, minimizing problem. It is an optimization problem. And we have certain constraints that all the data points belonging to one class should be having a function value of equal to or greater than 1, and all the data points belonging to class 2 should have a function value of less than -1. That is, no data points should be there between this. That is the meaning of that. So this is the decision surface belonging to support vector. So all the data points should be beyond this. There should be no points between this. That is a constraint. If there is any data point between this, you can't take that hyperplane. That is the constraint. Okay. So when you go through this multiple times, I think it should be clear to you. And that's all for today's class. Thank you.